In the past, Anna, a pregnant woman, rushes to a house after running from an infected. After the infected attacks, Anna gets bitten, but before she gives birth to a baby girl, Ellie. Anna is found by Marlene, a Firefly leader, where she asks her to take Ellie and kill her. She hesitantly does. In the present, Ellie and Joel arrive at a hospital where Firefly soldiers take Ellie and knock out Joel. After Joel awakens, Marlene explains the doctors are doing a surgery on Ellie to produce a cure. Marlene orders Joel to be taken away, however, he fights back and kills most of the soldiers. Joel finds Ellie and leaves the hospital. Marlene intercepts them, stating that there's still time to find a cure, but Joel shoots and kills her. Their car breaks down as Joel brings Ellie back to Jackson, Wyoming. As they hike, Ellie makes Joel promise that everything he said about the Fireflies was true. He says yes. Thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and that is the synopsis of episode 9 of The Last of Us. This, of course, is the season finale. It's entitled Look for the Light. This episode was really a good way to end this season. I really appreciated what they did in this final episode. You see a lot of things connected and things that we may have been asking ourselves. I mean, I know I was asking what happened with Riley after they both were infected. When he did that flashback scene, that whole thing of looking at the backstory of Ellie. We of course seen Ashley Johnson, who originally voiced Ellie in the video games, and she plays the mom in a very compelling, very emotional scene where we see Ellie born. But Ellie is actually born after her mom is bit. You even see when that happens, after she kills the infected, I mean not the infected, but the, I guess you say the, I guess you could say that, the infected. And, you're not going to call her a clicker, I don't know, like a clicker, right? Isn't her stages right? We go from infected to a clicker, like, But you see her get the knife. Very familiar. We all recognize that knife as being the knife that Ellie has in her possession years later. But she hurriedly takes the knife, cuts the umbilical cord. She even assures Marlene, after Marlene finds her, tells her, no, I cut the umbilical cord after, before I was bit. But we know that she was bit. And that's how Ellie is infected. But the question is, how is still she wasn't infected, in the sense that, yes, she does have the mark there of being infected, but I guess it's just because she had some of the infected in her, and that's what caused her to, not turn. But then again, yeah, and it, of course we know that she got bit later on, but I think it's just because when the infected bit her mom, whatever was in the infected, coursed through her body, Ellie's body, and then when she got bit later on, she didn't turn. Very, very unique circumstance. It's something that you still ask, how, but at the same time we kind of do. But I like a lot of the things that you see here that kind of connect the dots and kind of let us know how or why things are what they are. For a while now, we've known about Joel's scar. And we find out that Joel's scar is not from somebody shooting at him and missing, but in fact, it was Joel who shot and missed. And it wasn't that he shot and missed a soldier. He shot and missed himself. He was going to commit suicide because of the incredible, painful grief that he was suffering and experiencing because of the loss of Sarah. And he said at the last moment he flinched, and that's why you see a graze, a scar. He just grazed his head. and he wondered why. And possibly it's because it was meant to be that he would find someone who would fill a void. That void is, of course, him losing his daughter. He lost Sarah, but he found Ellie. And there's even one point where it was toward the end, and then you were right around. It was a pivotal part of the show, of the season, I should say. I mean, episode, I should say. And Ellie goes, time heals all wounds, I guess. But then Joel says it wasn't time that did it, referring to Ellie. From what I can understand, that she's the one that kind of made him kind of realize that he has his daughter. He has someone who he can look at as his daughter. He even talked to her while they were hiking. Their car broke down, so they had to hike the last, however, about 5 miles or something like that. And he said that you and my daughter would have got along. You're funny, he said to Ellie, and my daughter she's a kind of a girly girl. Not that you're not a girly girl. And then Ellie goes, well, I'm not a girly girl. And we know she's not. She's a girl, but she's a tough cookie. You know what I mean? She's able to fight and she's able to just shake off all this stuff that's happening around her. Even though you kind of could still see in the beginning of the episode, when you see Ellie and Joel, Ellie is still catatonic. She's still thinking about what happened with David, what happened with James. I mean, we all know how brutal that was. The last possible this second that she just cracked, and she just went to town on David and totally just killed him. Like, no hesitation, no, just there was no chill. She just went off, did what she had to do. But when you think about this episode, it's like the way they showed and the way they connected the two Ellies, right? You see in one scene, you see Ashley Johnson, who is the voice of Ellie, and she has her baby Ellie, who is, the TV series version of Ellie. It's the baby, of course, but it grows up to be a 14-year-old who's played by Anna Ramsey. Oh, not Anna Ramsey, Bella Ramsey. And that was one kind of connection right there. And then we see one where Marlene, right? She had to kill an infected Anna. Anna told her, you have to kill me. Take Ellie, that's her name. She told her Ellie's name. I was wondering how she was going to know that was Ellie. Did they just decide to name her that? But she did that. She even knew that Ellie was a talker and she was someone with an attitude. Because even as a baby, she's talking. She goes, yeah, you tell. Yeah, you tell. She's like, you go ahead. And you fucking tell us. Tell us. Tell me what you really. Almost like what she was saying was like, tell me how you really feel. Just say it. Just say what you want to say. I know. Pretty much saying that you got a lot to say. You got a lot of attitude, a lot of spunk, and we all know what Ellie is like as a teenager now. So that she even had that from the moment she was born. But like I said, you see, those two, they're connected. And she tells her, and Marlene gives the baby out to one of the soldiers and says, close her eyes, have her close her ears, And she goes in there and without hesitation raises. She went in there and bam, popped her. Pretty sure in the head. I mean, there's nowhere else you're going to kill her, right? And she ends her life, and that was her lifelong friend. And that's a connection like that Ellie and Marlene. It's just like Riley and Ellie. Did I say Ellie, Marlene? I meant Anna and Marlene. And then Ellie and Riley, they have that connection. They were friends, childhood friends. They really, really got along. They understood each other. And even we know toward the end, before they were bit, and before everything, the chaotic thing that happened, and this tragedy of their relationship and their love and their friendship, and they loved each other. And she confesses kind of like mirroring what happened with her mom, is that when Riley turned, Ellie had no choice. She confessed this to to Joel, and said that, and then pretty much telling her that she killed Riley because she turned. Because, and Riley, I'm sure she didn't want Riley to suffer, to be a infected, and later on be a clicker and all that. So, that's what I was thinking when I did that my recap after that, and I said, what happened? How did that situation get taken care of? And there you go. She says it in here. You know. But let's take a. I just and there's another thing also in regards to a real beautiful scene. They go into this abandoned place, abandoned area. She gets booted. She gets helped up to the top there, and she's like, "Oh, Joel, look!" She's running up the stairs, and then Joel's trying to go after her, and then he goes out there and he sees that she is face to face with a giraffe. A very beautiful scene, kind of showing that even in this chaotic, dangerous um, world that is just gone to hell, there's still some beauty. You see a giraffe, and they're feeding giraffe leaves, and then the giraffe runs off, and then they find the giraffe with its own family of giraffes. So they kind of have a little normalcy there within themselves as well. You know, you still see some normalcy, but it's in a world that's just gone to hell, like I said. And that was a beautiful scene. I like that, how they present that, because just like there's hope. There's still some humanity there, and some normalcy. I can say normalcy. Now, you can't say humanity. They're not, animals there. Animals aren't human, right? You can't say. I don't know if humanity. I think humanity does. You can kind of put that together with that, but the general meaning I'm trying to say. There's normalcy, even in this, like I said, chaotic world. And then even Joel, I remember him saying that despite there's beauty, and there's this world, we're trying to find something. There's hope, and then you see he goes, but we still find evil. We still find bad people in this thing. And then he says that, and all of a sudden, there's a frag grenade or a something that just knocks them down, and then they take Ellie away. And then when Joel tries to go after her, he gets hit with the butt of a rifle back of the head, and then we find out that they're there, and fireflies, and they have surgery that's being scheduled to remove the cortex or the cordyceps from her. But Joel knows that the only way you can do is taking that from her brain. So that means that she's in danger. She's gonna die. Joel doesn't want to have another situation where he's gonna lose somebody dear to him, and Ellie is like a daughter to him. So he does the one thing that he feels is the right thing to do, and that he rather saves Ellie than have her be operated on, with the possibility of that saving the world. The two guys who were going to escort him, I guess, to the border or wherever that Marlene said, and if Marlene says if they get out of hand, if he gets out of hand, kill him. So he takes them out. Then he takes out the rest of the soldiers that were there. And then when he's confronted by Marlene, as he has Ellie in his arms, she's all, "There's still some time for a cure," and he's all, "No, there's not." He shoots her and knocks her down, and then he goes over to her and he's saying, "Please, please, let me live." And he's all, and he pretty much just said, "You're just gonna go after her. You're just gonna try to find her," and he couldn't have that. And then he shoots her dead. Now you know, later on when they're talking, and Ellie asks him, "Promise me, tell me, tell me the truth. Did everything you tell me about the fireflies happen? Is that the truth?" And he says, "Yes, it's the truth." Rather than tell her the truth, he wants to lie to her so that he can protect her, because that's what parents do. You know, they try to do that in order to protect their you know their kid, younger brother, younger sister, like that. You know, but the thing about it is that she probably knows. She probably senses that he's telling the truth. That he's not telling the truth, and she could probably understand that. I think he's just trying to protect me, and I'm just gonna go with it for now. But I might revisit it later on and talk to Joel again. She even asked, what happened to Marlene when she was in the back after he saved her, and they were on the road, and he said, "I'm gonna take you back home. I'm gonna take you home. We're gonna go back." So they're going back, heading back to Tommy, where they feel that they're gonna have a normal life. But who knows? It might turn sideways, and they might have an evil person there. You know how it is. It's like with the Walking Dead and other shows where you go to a place, and I'm just familiar with The Walking Dead more than any other shows that had that situation where they would find a community that seemed on the up and up, legit, and then you ends up the guy who was a charismatic leader that looks like he's all for the welfare of his people. He ends up being some psycho killer, cannibal, whatever you want to say when it comes to that. You know? But this episode really, I love the way they really much just tied everything together. They kind of just definitely just everything that we had, questions that we asked. Well, except especially for me, I'm pretty sure there's people that still say, "Oh, some things are left unexplained." But to me, they really connected the dots. They really the questions I had were answered pretty much, and I really really do love that. I love the fact that Craig Mason, he said that it's a beautiful story. It's probably one of the best stories in regards to video games, and that's the reason why he wanted to do this show. And along with Neil Druckmann, we all know he's the director and the guy who's behind the video game. Together they really, really tailored and really, really just wrote and directed and produced an amazing TV series. You got some haters out there, but we're always going to have haters. No one's ever going to be completely satisfied, no matter how great a video game, a movie, a TV show is. There's always going to be the haters, the detractors, because that's what they think is cool. I'm going to go against what everybody else says, and I'm going to say I don't like it. It's okay if you don't like it, but you're going to have a majority of the people out there, 9 out of 10, are going to disagree with you. But this season finale was really an amazing episode. Really good way to tie everything up until the next season comes on us. And I can't wait. And kind of sad that the season came to an end, but the series ain't coming to an end. So we still have hope for another great great season, and to see where Ellie and Joel are going to be, where their relationship is going to be as they head towards Tommy and the community there, and let's see what happens. But anyway, that's my my recap and thoughts on the season finale of The Last of Us, the 9th episode entitled "Look for the Light." But anyway, that's my video. So for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. And in closing, as always, take care.